We have 3 in the waiting room. Okay. Good evening and a very warm welcome to the last and final day and the day 5 of CPP 2025. We've had a fantastic journey so far, learning about different topics, different areas in the pharmaceutical industry, and all of us had have something or the other to take back home and learn from. In fact, it has shaped us differently that now we know what questions to ask. Till now, we were like, what really happens in the pharmaceutical industry? We've now reached to a platform where we know the right questions to ask. And to take us one step further, we have today's 2 very important sessions. And I'm sure all of you have been looking forward to these 2 important sessions. Just before we get into the session per se, all the sessions previous to this were a combination of theoretical knowledge, what we learn in pharmacology, as well as combining what happens into the industry. And putting those two together, we have funneled it down to ultimately now what do we do with the knowledge that we have. So, to take us through that knowledge, we have 2 important sessions. The first one is career path in pharmaceutical industry for MD pharmacologists. And the second session, that is resume and interview preparation for the pharmaceutical industry. Both of these are extremely important. I request all of you to please pay attentive. We have really wonderful speakers who are going to take us through this session. So let us begin with the first part. And let me introduce our moderator for the session, Dr. Ashok Shenoy. I'll just share my slide. Yes, I am one of the moderators, and along with me, I am very honored to have Dr. Ashok Shenoy as a second moderator for this session. Sir is the member of Mahe Ethics Committee Manipal, chairperson, Central Ethics Committee, NITTE, deemed to be University, Mangalore, IEC. At the AJ Institute of Medical Sciences, Mangalore, the Institutional Ethics Committee at NITTE University Center for Science, Education and Research, Mangalore, the Institutional Ethics Committee at NITTE Usha Institute of Nursing Sciences, Mangalore, and the IIC Roshni Nilaya School of Social Work, Mangalore. Sir has been the former member secretary of the IEC KMC Mangalore and the former chairperson IEC FMMC Mangalore. Sir has published over 60 research articles in indexed national and international journals. Sir is the recipient of the Good Teacher Award 5 times at KMC Mangalore. Sir also has completed 25 years of experience in clinical research, that is a silver jubilee, and participated in over 80 global multicentric clinical trials as COL, participated as principal investigator in 15 bioequivalent studies. He's been the trainer for the ICH Indian GCP and the regulatory in clinical research. So, Sir is recognized as MD and PhD guide at Manipal Institute at the Manipal Institute. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Reshma.
I will now hand over to Sir to introduce our speaker.
We are stepping forward for a very interesting topic, which every MD pharmacology student has this query in mind. What is our prospect in an industry? To enlighten on this, we have Dr. Rajesh Kumawat, who is working as a head medical services and clinical development, Himalaya Wellness Company, India. Dr. Kumawat holds MBBS from JLN Medical College, Ajmer, and MD Pharmacology from SMS Medical College, Jaipur. Dr. Kumawat has over 30 years of total experience in the public health and pharmaceutical industry, with the key roles at Lupin, Fresenius Oncology, and Ranbaxy and Sun Pharma. He has spearheaded the pilot project for RNTCP as MOTC, that is Medical Officer Tuberculosis Control, sponsored by WHO. His expertise includes various domains such as clinical development, scientific strategy, medical writing, and clinical operations. He spearheads many phase 1 to 4 clinical development and multicentric clinical trials in multiple therapeutic domains for DCGI, USFDA, and MHRA submissions. Dr. Kumawat is privileged to be one among the expertise in India to have exposure to strategy and execution of global phase 1 study. Currently, he oversees medical and clinical development for Himalayas global products and implementation of pharmacovigilance in herbal industry. Dr. Kumawat has many publications in his name at various prestigious journals and also has participated as a guest speaker at various national and international platforms. Sir, we are eager to listen to you. Handing over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Shinoy, for nice introduction. And it is my privilege to share the platform with the academic established and the very well globally renowned people. And I'm really thankful to NAPT also for providing the platform. And honestly, this is a subject which is very close to me because I had struggled to enter in this, what to do, where to go, especially like in the when we are especially the MD pharmacology students 30 years back when I entered in the industry, and in fact in the MD pharmacology it was a big question what to do after that, why I am entering in MD pharmacology. But now the platform is open, lot of academia, lot of digital world is there, so lot of information are there. But still I believe, because in the last 1 year that has I have taken, it is a social initiative that I should educate the MD pharmacology students where to go, what they have the choices, and it is utmost important to choose the field which suits to their personality. I always insist that it is nothing is wrong, nothing is bad, it is a high incentive, low incentive, it is not the only criteria. But the whatever the career you choose, it should appeal to you, you should be happy doing that, and whether it suits to your personality, that is the important aspect I am just sharing with all the students. And I was privileged to organize some workshop in some medical colleges in the last 6 months, and the students, I really felt that they have a different kind of students what we used to be like 30 years back. Of course it is a complete Gen Z, I can say. That is almost a Gen Z, yeah. So it is difficult to match with them, their curiosity, their intensity, agility. But as a senior people, experienced people in the industry and academia, we have a joint responsibility to guide them where they can carve their path. So that is the basic objective of my session. And again, I am just insisting and sharing with all the dear students, please evaluate yourself from the personality point of view. It is not like I was lucky and now I'm really I was in government job, hardcore government job 30 years back as a gazetted officer. I resigned and entered in the industry. It was a big risk at that time. Corporate world was not existing, so I'm feeling lucky that I entered in the industry field which suits to my personality. It was my luck. Otherwise, after 1 or 2 year, like I have seen, and some discussion in the group also, whenever we talk about, people start talking that I worked in 2 years and it is absurd or whatever. I could see some, so I withdrew from that. That it is not the fault of the person who has worked in the industry, because industry has also multiple kind of domains. So I'll give you a little flavor, and then I would share my email ID also, and that's why I'm taking that. It is my social initiative, and I have got the permission from my organization also that every month I am going at one or other places to address MD pharmacology students, to make them aware, sensitize what pharmaceutical industry. The topic is only hardly we can cover in 30-40 minutes, whatever the best possible. But you won't believe whenever the session ends, uh, students surrounds me during lunch, and 2 hours they continue to throw the questions, the curiosity and the queries. So I always tell them this, and many people have changed their mind after that, because they were carrying some kind of assumption in their mind what industry is, because they had seen only that exposure. So that is again, it's my privilege also, and students should feel obliged to all the uh, organizers, academia people who are coming together here on this platform. They should be really feel grateful that they are getting such kind of platform and hearing everybody, and then they can choose their career, whether academy, whether industry, or even in the industry what the field they should choose. So this is the background, and uh, it is my request to moderator, please stop me, because it is a topic is very close to my heart. So just stop me if I'm going in a length. Though I have tried to keep, I've learned how to minimize it, but still it is. I hope everybody is able to see.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it's
sir.
visible.
Okay. So after giving the background, as we know, the topic is career path in the pharmaceutical industry for medical pharmacologist. I always call it as a medical pharmacologist. So I start always with this thing कि whenever a person, any student of 12th 11th 12th, when they started thinking about their career, that I have to become a doctor, and they appear in the NET UG, now NEET UG, then the NEET PG, and ultimately they hang up with the suit, this parachute. That's why this is a very apt picture here, that after doing UG or PG, whatever it is there, so it is a parachute, and where should I drop in? That is the basic objective. And so we have multiple kind of opportunities like NEET PG after the medical people, the typical in medicine. You can see here there are the clinical opportunities like Apollo Hospital, Fortis, All India Institute. So these are lot of things. So this is the one domain where clinical, which everybody is aware. When the students see before appearing in the NEET UG, they always see this thing only, and they wanted to enter the career only seeing this thing particular graph. Then there are certain careers in the from the paraclinical. This is a microbiology, pathology, and other parameters are areas are there where people see. Now some people see that pathology labs, biochemistry labs, and microbiology labs are also playing coherently, working with the hospitals, the treating physicians. So this is again the second domain. Third domain which we see is, here we can see the institute. This is the symbolic, the All India Institute, or the other, the KJ Somaiya, and I think this is third one, this is a JIPMET. So these are the various institutes. So these are the, when the person enters in MBBS or MD, they see these kind of the various career options. But whether our journey stops here, the answer is no. The answer is altogether uh, carved out in this particular session of CPP very beautifully. So we have come like this. Again, I'm just telling you that it is medical professional profession is highly respected still today, and that was high respect was seen in the medical field, which was evidenced during COVID time. I think everybody would remember such kind of photographs. And here is the AIMS, and this is from my place here, Bangalore, the Victoria Hospital. So these are the hospitals which were the center of COVID, and Air Force of India showered the floor, and at that time we really felt like God. Of course, again after many years, we really felt God that we belong to a medical fraternity. So that pride always should carry with us whole life in whatever the field we are, whether it is an industry, whether it is a non-clinical, whether it is academic or clinical. We belong to a very highly reputed, highly respected domain of the career. So after this, for especially for many people, again I'm just telling you that it is not only to the MD pharmacologist, it is a for medical professional. I can say that apart from those institute and everything, the all the logos here you can see it is a this belongs to pharmaceutical industry, whether it is a Novartis, J&J, Abbott, or my company Himalaya, or Zydus, Biocon, Mankind, anything like multiple list is very very long from the global also, from India also. So this is opening one of the other platform for all of us, and we would talk a little bit about this particular domain. So before I entry, I just want to give you the confidence what Dr. Shinoy has already given a brief, but still I would like to that share that my journey of 30 years, and that combines everything. That's why I wanted to give you the confidence. Where do you suits? You can jump here and there. Like after my education, I was house surgeon in Indian Railways also. I worked as a medical officer tuberculosis control. That was a prestigious project. Before implementation of RNTCP in India, it was initiated in 4 districts in India. And that was, I was controlling one of the unit, and after successful implementation that it was spreaded. So I have worked in that domain also. It is not that I have not treated patients. I for 5 years I treated patient from 50 to 100 patient per day. That was the all over average. So that domain also I have handled. Then I moved to industry, that is a Ranbaxy, which was the top company at that time, now acquired by Sun Pharma. Then I moved to Fresenius Oncology, Lupin Limited, Himalaya. So I worked in a domestic company also, the MNC company also, Indian MNC also, now in the herbal company. That is a separate topic, that why I am in herbal now. It is question always thrown, but that is a separate topic. But I am just sharing that you can see the variation in the uh, career path of myself. That's why I'm trying to share whatever the knowledge I can share with you people. So this field of medicine has led a new role for the medical professional, especially because medical pharmacologists are the most crucial. But again, I'm telling you, I've seen in the industry the various super specialist people also enter in the industry. I've seen oncologists, nephrologists, gastroenterologists, they are part of the industry. Apart from that, biochemistry, microbiology, medicine, general physician, and the pediatrician, uh, everybody I have seen. So it is not isolated, but of course, when I take pharmacology as my super specialty, then my choice is more in the pharma industry, and my execution will be better as compared to others. That is a definitely. So MD pharmacologists are more preferred in the industry because we are related to the drugs and all those things, now the drugs monitoring. So MD pharmacologists are more close to the industry. But again, I want to insist, it is not only the field for them. So I'll take you one by one slide, like only similar, what are the various options. And again, I'll try to put in some aspects of the personality also, where you can go, like if it is suits to you or not. So there are multiple domains. First domain which we talk and through which I entered in the industry was clinical research. That's why I have taken is a first, and I have invested most of my time in the clinical research. So I know very well, and I had gone through the many uh, lecture and the sessions in this particular journey also, and people have beautifully explained the various domains. So you can correlate. I won't go in depth. There are multiple opportunities, but if I go for like clinical research first, you should understand what is clinical research. And unfortunately, and I'm sad when I say that, when I ask you what is clinical research, and most of the MD students, in at least I have interacted, they are not very well aware. So what we can do, what how can we help them, that is the aspect which we would like to uh, request to all our academician, if they are well aware, and how they can do. So clinical research is what? Clinical research is the scientific evidence for generation of a product. Like once the all the things whatever see that HPLC, gas chromatography, animal studies, whatever we read in the MD pharmacology, in those domains in industry we are not required. By the way, we are not required. Those are the hardcore PhD people are there, toxicology people are there, the analytical PhD people are there. So they are doing these jobs in industry and they are far ahead of us. We should gracefully accept. So what is the domain which where we would be respected, we would be like are these fields. So clinical research is coming where we are generating the data from the patient before the product comes into the market, and it is not like that's why I have used this particular guinea pig. It is not a guinea pig study. And you, if you want to see lot of YouTubes and available what are the ethics, black history in the clinical domain, it is full of few bad examples of clinical research where all ethics were violated, especially the Nuremberg in the Second World War. So now the studies are not happen, and I was very happy and was like grateful to see what Dr. Ashok Shinoy, he has spearheaded many ethics committees. So it is like academia role there, that in the ethics committee how can we play very strong role. So it is we are not treated as human being should not be treated as guinea pig, and that is the best thing which we can do. So clinical research is the domain where MD pharmacologist can play a very important role. And again, in clinical research, I want to highlight these particular three verticals. It is not only one vertical in clinical research. One is a scientific strategy and medical writing where the science comes into picture. Second is a clinical operation where the actual clinical trial is executed. And third is when the data is collected, how it is analyzed. So we always do during the I have also done like biostatics part, and analysis was also done, but that is a part of MSc biostatics or the PhD biostatics. But as a medical person we have to throw question to them, and it is our duty that what kind of analysis we want. So there is also a role played by the MD pharmacologist, that how clinical data management and biostatics should work. So that is a one domain, and it is a complete table based job. You have not to go anywhere, you are in the laptop and everything. So it is a complete table job, you have not to go
Okay.
out. That's why I'm using one or yeah,
So I
Dr.
might just interrupt. So there is I think the visibility of the slide is kind of affected. There is a box on top and on the right hand side. So your table is not completely visible. Um, must
Ah,
be the sharing.
is it fine if you want
No,
like
it's still visible. Shilpa, if you're online, can you tell us how we can sort?
now?
Yes, now it's gone. And even the top box is also, we can, hide it.
That is, I think, sir's
How to hide that?
sharing command. Sir, can you give this a slideshow, sir? Is it possible to give the slideshow?
Yeah, I
Now, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, now Shilpa.
Yeah, now we have to wait. That bar will go then.
So is it possible to hide the box on top?
yeah, I was
Sir has
also
to do it
feeling
from his end.
Okay.
where to
So
cross.
no need to click anything, sir. It will hide automatically. You can continue. After a few times, it will automatically hide.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the one part, the clinical data management. Then I can come to the scientific strategy and medical writing. So before any study goes into the field for execution, it is the how the study should be planned. And for that, we should be well aware about the disease overview. And as I told that um medical scientist people comes into here because I always just for the example I always share with my people that whenever we are planning a study, designing a protocol, how the study should be done, what are the various assessment, we should be thorough with the subject, and that is a complete scientific medical scientific domain which nobody can snatch from you. This is the domain of MD pharmacologist or MD medicine people who plan the study, conceptualize the design, and everything is there. And that is done that if I am doing a gastroenterology study in the domain, can I beat and can I compete in the knowledge of the gastroenterologist? A big no, because they have invested 13 years in the gastroenterology and then 15, 20, 25 years of experience. So it is not the case. But the requirement is that you should be well aware, so that whenever you are going to talk them, because the study is designed, then you go to them whether it is possible not possible. So whatever the guidance they give to us, it should not be looked as that it is a French or German for me. Like I give you the example of liver MAFLD, metabolic associated fatty liver disease. So fibroscan is done. So number one, whether I am aware what is fibroscan, it is my duty to know. Then in fibroscan, the liver stiffness measure, they will call the word LSM. If they are calling LSM, then I should be aware what is LSM. Otherwise, they will tell you, okay, do fibroscan and you should assess LSM. And if it is I am not aware LSM, then it is a French language for me. So that's why these people come into picture. They go thoroughly, and the clinical study documents which are prepared, it is the domain of scientific strategy and medical writing. So this is a kind of a uh, balance kind of job, where sometime you have to sit in the office and sometime you have to interact with the people, the medical fraternity who are in that particular domain. So you may have to travel sometime, but it is a very minimal travel, but mainly the scientific aspect. The second, then it comes after that, it is a clinical operation or execution, how the clinical trial is executed. It is again not the domain for medical pharmacologists, but it is good to have the knowledge of clinical operation. And that's why we always encourage the people to go and see how the studies are conducted in the hospitals, clinics, or any institutes. So there also we come to a very, when the investigator is doing something, then clinical operation team ask us that sir, and the investigator is asking such questions and we are not able to answer. So then MD pharmacology again comes to picture. So these are the two domain where MD pharmacology plays a very important role. And this is a kind of balance field where sometimes we have to sit on the desk and sometimes we have to travel, like minimum travel, but it is a scientific interaction travel, minimal travel. And the clinical data management biostatics, it is not our domain, but again we have to play an important role in deriving the data and the guiding the team. So everything is there, but it is a complete desk job. So I think if clinical research comes, so again I'm telling you, this is the clinical research. Clinical research is having three domain. One is a scientific strategy, medical writing, clinical operation, and data management. So this is the complete gamut of how the clinical studies are done, and that is a clinical research. So you can choose your career, but of course these are the two domains where a balanced kind of life is there, where you need to sit in the office. Sometimes you have to break the head with the science, and sometimes you have to travel to interact with the people. So it is a balanced kind of thing. And as I told that I was lucky that I entered in this because my personality suits to this. So I was lucky in that way. So you have to choose your career accordingly. So this I have already explained, so I'll skip all those things, ki what kind of domain like scientific manager, director, and all those. So I don't want to go in depth. The other aspect, apart from industry, the medical practitioners who wants to be in clinical research. So this is not only the MD pharmacology who are attached with the industry, they are the part of the industry, but for conducting a study, we need some principal investigator, co-investigator, sub-investigator. So there, the people from that particular therapeutic domain uh, has to be there, like who will conduct the study. So as we see in my MD thesis, I had taken one of the clinical trial and I was co-investigator and endocrinologist was the investigator. So there I could get the knowledge of the clinical research, how it is done. So the patients, you are looking for the patient, and so these are known as principal investigator, or you can say clinical research physician, anything. What the language and nomination and the designation, everything changes from organization to organization. So don't go by the designation of any of the organization that I was there like that, whether you see that. No, it is not the case. I have seen the industry. So, but principal investigator, co-investigator, sub-investigator is a common term who are responsible for execution and conduct of the trial, because trial are conducted on patient. So who will give you the patient? Patient is the domain of the practitioner. So those people are also part of clinical research. So even after MD, if you are doing practice also, then you can be part. But I suggested in one of the forum that MD pharmacology student should completely or partially attach to clinical research unit of any of the hospital or institute if they really want to know what clinical research. So they can be associated in every hospital. There are lot of clinical trial goes on in most of the hospital. So their MD pharmacology student can approach with the due permission of their HOD, who allows them to go at least 4 hour a day to invest. Like they are investing 12 hours. So I always ask, like, please pardon me to use these words, but if they can work 12 hours, why can't we do? So 8 hours, do your college job. 4 hours, you settle your time with the uh, clinicians who are involved in some of the clinical study and become a co-investigator, sub-investigator, just to know your career path, whether it is your cup of tea. That is the only thing. It is not that it's still compulsory that you are going to be in clinical research industry, but just to know how clinical research is being done, whether it suits to me to choose my career. So that is my important suggestion, that out of 3 years, at least 6 months attach with some investigator in your institute, medical institute where the clinical trials are done. And you are privileged. Again, I am telling you that you have all the academician who are part of the ethics committee, like Dr. Ashok Shinoy is a IEC secretary, and they can definitely guide you and they will encourage that where are the clinical trials are happening, and they can guide you where to attach with. And doctor who is conducting the study, they will also be very happy that I am getting a doctor, because their residents are not free to spare time because they are busy in their patients. So they will be very happy to get a doctor who can invest time of their interest. So it is a win-win game for both the sides. So you can choose anything, whatever you like. So just to uh, remind, clinical research is one of the field in the pharmaceutical industry where again there are multiple domains: scientific strategy, medical writing, clinical operation, and the data management. Our domain lies especially for scientific strategy and medical writing, but guiding the clinical operation is also there, where lot of travels happens in the clinical operation. Like there are CRA, senior CRA, clinical operation managers are there, and they are usually from B Pharma, M Pharma, any life science graduate, postgraduates, or those people are there who run here and there. So clinical operation requires a lot of traveling, but there the junior people works on the travel mode. So senior people don't travel, and those areas are there where the scientific guidance and the queries which come from the hospital, from the investigator, is dealt by the scientific team which lies with the medical people. So I think that is clear from the clinical research point of view. Uh, the second domain, which is very upcoming field in the industry, is the pharmacovigilance. And pharmacovigilance also, that the most many of the people if ask you what are the fields, so this is the pharmacovigilance where the safety monitoring is done of the product uh, during the clinical development also, and for the marketed product also. And for your kind information for everybody, uh, the product which are marketed in the European countries or US country, every company has to have a very strong pharmacovigilance system, and there are multiple guidelines available there, and they have to follow the system process, how the if any complaint comes, how is it processed, how the causalities assessment, because a complaint can happen anything. Like if I'm taking paracetamol from morning and still I'm having some vomiting, then vomiting is an adverse event. So this is known as a adverse event processing. So therapeutic drug monitoring is already happening in many pharmacology department, and that is a good sign. But still, uh, as I mentioned, that every industry is a dire need of requirement of the pharmacovigilance. And when it comes to the medical evaluation of any event, like all the processing, everything happens from the non-medical people. But when it comes to the causality assessment, how it happens, what I should discuss with the patient, sometime it is required who has complained. So those kind of processing, the doctors are required, and the companies are, it is a mandate for the company to have a very strong pharmacovigilance system. Otherwise, the product may be withdrawn from the market. That is a hardcore, and the rational behind it, that they have to be safety first. That is the important aspect. So safety is a very important aspect where pharmacologists can play a role. Again, like these are the few of the things where 24 into 7 medical safety assessment, safety management plan of a product, how signal detection is done. Like for a particular drug, a product which has come into the market, we are getting again and again some kind of problem which was not known. Then the medical people evaluate all the data, and then that is known as signal detection, whether this is because of the drug. One incidence, isolated incidence, is not considered as a related drug event, but once it comes in the thousand and the lakhs, then it is the duty of that particular pharmacovigilance team in that particular industry to come out with the like designate that this may also happen with the particular drug. So these are the, again, the basic overview of the pharmacovigilance, and this is a very established and very liked field. Again, I'm telling you that it is a kind of scientific domain. Very minimal travel is required, or sometimes no travel is required, but it is a hardcore safety monitoring of a product. So if you like those kind of data here and there, I love to evaluate the safety of a product that comes automatically in my genes, then pharmacovigilance is the right field for all of us. So, but travel is minimal. So those are known. Again, as I told, the don't go by designation. These are sometime drug safety physician, sometime drug safety officer, medical reviewer, and anything can happen. So pharmacovigilance is a drug safety monitoring, whether product is in during development or after, and it is a regulatory requirement. So pharmacology people are the requirement of the industry. So if it suits to you, then you should choose this field if you are coming to industry. This is the second field. So I'm just again and again, as a, though I'm not teacher, but again I'm reminding, there are two field we have discussed. One is a clinical research. Clinical research has a three domain. One is a scientific aspect, clinical operation, and data management, biostatics. Second domain comes pharmacovigilance, where safety monitoring is the part. Uh, Third aspect, which I think have talked a lot in this particular program, also the medical affair, medico marketing, and you are well aware. And coincidentally, most of the pharmacologists which I have interacted, they are aware about the medical affair. And one girl who was talking to me in one of my session in the college, she was just after this thing that I was not aware that it is other domains also exist. And because medical affair is a part where requires lot of traveling, again you are deep down 24 into 7, you are on the toe, at least in the initial years. But I've seen the senior people also, that they are continuously on the toe, like traveling is a part of their life. So if somebody is having fun in having travel, because this is again a personality wise, what my genes allowed, what my genes don't allow. If I travel too much, that's why I was telling I was lucky, then I dropped in this thing. But if I travel a lot, some physical problem will happen with me, either migraine or indigestion or like that. But on other side, there are many people who develop migraine, they go out and they relieve by that. So it is not a hardcore line who should join, who loves this domain. No, if you like traveling, if you are deriving the fun out of traveling and keeping this thing go here there, suitcase, going by airport, taxi, hotel stay, addressing the people, and that is a domain of medical affair, especially in the initial years. So it is also a very, very lucrative domain in the pharmaceutical industry if it suits to your personality. Again, I am telling you. Otherwise, this is the most uh, talked about domain in the industry for MD pharmacologists. So you can choose anything, and what they do, they bridge the gap between the science and clinical research, whatever is happening, and the commercial side. So they play a role, a bridge. What the marketing team will do, they go for a product positioning, the education program, engagement of the various KOLs and the doctors who are treating. So new indication also, whatever if it is changed. So these people play a very, very important role. Uh, so if it you like this kind of job, and I won't go in depth what are their various roles and responsibilities, because I have seen the multiple things are already covered. So this is also one of the domain which you can choose. And for my personality, I can say it was not my domain. So that's why. But when I talk to the many people, that's why I was just sharing that I met two girl. One girl was exclusively ki, no, I have to go in that medical affair, I want to travel, I like that. So it is the best career option for that girl. But the other girl was very, on that day, she came to know that pharmacovigilance and the clinical research is not required too much of travel. So I can carry my family very well, balance, then marriage will happen and those things. So she had a lot of skepticism in her mind. He, pharma industry job means only traveling and going out on the toe. It is not the case. You can choose anything, whatever you want. So I had, in the last 3 4 months, I have met two girls who had a complete opposite kind of aptitude and the conception about the industry. So they changed their concept on that day, that what they should do. Even the third person who met with me, it was a completely that I really like teaching and all those things. So then industry is not a good option for them at all, because industry in the academia, we have a very prestigious roles, and all academician on the platform and the dais today, they will acknowledge that they are, and I always feel pride in that I am also MD pharmacology by looking at them, that they are the policy maker, they are in the scientific expert committee of the DCGI. Any regulatory, if there is anything, pharmacologists will be there. Ethics committee, when it comes to, it will be always be there. When there is any safety compliance or any epidemic pandemic comes, everywhere like MD pharmacologists are sought from the academia. So that is also very highly respected job now, I can say. So if your personality suits to that, of course you should go for that. Don't think about industry. Of course, the check balance are always there. If I like something, I should go there. If I don't like, don't go there. But you have to judge yourself. Nobody is going to guide you. It is your introspection where you fit. So this is the third aspect. Fourth aspect is
So in 2 3 minutes, can we wind in so that we leave for discussion?
how much time?
Around 3 to 4 minutes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So KOL is also one important part. The key opinion leader, where the role of medical professionals. So these are the independent physician, where they play an independent role, and we hire like some people who are in gastroenterology, oncology, nephrology. So they can also play a part, but medical people inside the industry have a very, very, should have very high knowledgeable person who can interact with them, which I explained. So those are known as KOL, key opinion leader. Sometimes they are industry partner, or sometimes they are independent consultant for the company. So those kind of role also exist in the industry, but those are for the people who are really practicing. But the licensed people who are there is industry medical person. So you can again think of that kind of thing, it is also existing. So these are the especially the four domains which I explained. And now you would have understood clinical research, pharmacology, medical affair, and all those things. And uh, important aspect which came in the last meeting and which I am already sharing, that if you really want to understand, there is a NMC guideline which Dr. Jitendra also mentioned last time, and it is a part of my presentation every time, that NMC has also suggested in the August 22 that 8 weeks training is possible in any industry. So there you can go. And again, very, very important aspect which I want to share, go to the small industry where all the domain exists. Otherwise, in the service sector or big company where you go in a join for a 8 weeks industry training, then you will see only one domain. Then you will take a judgment on your half knowledge, whether I should join industry or not, whether I should go to academia or not. So they can take a judicious decision, go to a small company where all these domains are existing. So that is again my advice to all of you. And we would request to all academician, the pharmacology department, please encourage your students to go join industry. For 3 years they are with you, only 2 months give them chance to expose to industry. And this is a NMC rule also, so nobody is violating. And as a from my organization, I would offer to all of you, of course, on the basis of the vacancy, at a time one MD pharmacologist I am also taking. So you can approach to me also whenever there is a position, if your HOD allows that 8 weeks training, you can definitely, you are most welcome. And anybody who goes from here, they are really completely exposed, at least the basic idea how the industry works, how corporate world works, and how academia works. So they can take a judicious decision about their career. So this is all about from my side. So it is over to you, sir. Can I stop?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that lucid presentation. Any
Dr. Shinoy sir,
questions?
Dr. Shinoy
Yeah.
sir, before we start with the question answer, can I just speak something with your kind permission?
Sir, exact. Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I really extend my apology that we haven't introduced one of the finest moderators also, which we have with us, who has been very gracefully steering the entire discussion, Dr. Reshma Quadros. Yeah, she is the organizing secretary for this important program. She happens to be a pharmaceutical physician and experienced as medical advisor in pharma industry. And currently, she partners Sun Pharma's India's business as medical advisor in the India Medical Affairs Division, catering to their gynecological portfolio. She also happens to be the joint secretary and member of the governing council of the National Association of Pharmacology and Therapeutics. Previously, she has worked with IPCA laboratories in the emerging markets of Russia, Kuwait, French, West Africa, Southeast Asia, and she has contributed significantly to the awareness programs on gut health in these countries. And her areas of interest is in preventive and lifestyle medicine with a strong focus on patient-centric holistic care. She happens to be an avid reader, always exploring new research and perspective in Indian medicine and health. Thank you, Reshma, for always for being there and moderating this segment. Thank you so much. Shana sir, you can start.
Thank you,
please.
sir.
Yeah. There is a question in the chat box. Yeah. Dr. Kumawat, these MD postgraduates have a major question. What exactly is the role of a medical advisor or a medical affairs? Many see, is it something like a job which is akin to medical rep or something like that? For example, meeting the clinician, talking to them, or convincing something about your product or something like that. What exactly is the job description of a medical affairs or a medical advisor?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, that medical affair is a one of the domain for the people who wants to join industry, and Dr. Reshma is the right here. She is exclusively in the medical affair. So please correct me, Dr. Reshma, if I am wrong. That they are the part of the scientific communication between the industry and the marketing team. So it is again like it is not a rep. Rep is a hardcore salesperson. Even they are not marketing the that also I came to know only after joining industry. What is the difference between sales and marketing? Marketing is the people who are in the strategy and sales who go directly to there. So usually the medical affair people are the strategy person and many times as per the requirement of the industry they arrange the KOL meetings, the round table meeting, but mostly they are contacting with the doctors not to sell their product. It is not advertising their product, but they are like if my product is in some suppose chronic kidney disease, so they are just discussing the chronic kidney disease and what are the various literature because the clinician also are not sometime because of the practice they are not able to get along with the current knowledge, so those things are dealt by that, but it is not a rep is a hardcore salesperson.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
Karishma, if you can add, yeah,
I have a
please.
question for you, sir. I have a question for you. See, which is the right time for an MD pharmacology postgraduate to apply? Should he wait to get his degree, or when he is in the final,
Yes.
3 months or 6 months, can he start applying?
Exactly. Dr. Ashok, you rightly mentioned why to waste the time after that because you don't know in the industry, positioning varies like whether today I am having some position, tomorrow I may not have. So, though it was a correct position for me, but so in the last semester, like last 6 months, they should start applying. And if they are really interested in industry, I would again suggest they should join that 8 weeks course. So even we also evaluate the person like two-person who had joined us in the second year, and I had openly offered them that whenever your MD is completed, if you are interested to come to my organization, you are most welcome. If the position, usually the positions are arrived, so they should apply during the PG itself. That is
Sir,
my
can
advice.
they apply? Can they apply directly, or do they need some recommendation or some handholding? Is it something like you go to the company's website and just apply there in the career options, or you have to go through somebody, or how is it, sir?
No, it is directly like whenever the companies have some position, they always upload on the various website also. Sometime it comes on the LinkedIn also. So it is always there. Open positions are there, and in some of the business industry have their on site the openings. They whenever there is any position of any field, they always publish there. Otherwise, it comes on the LinkedIn also. Like whenever it comes to any position for MD, I always share with Dr. Jitendra Singh for sure. So I can now share with the NAPT, the founder sir also, if students are getting benefited, if any position is there, I'll share with you. You can float on the our this website or on your WhatsApp group also. So it is a vary from the company to company, but it is available.
Sir, many lady postgraduates query whether work from home option is available.
Yes.
Which are the domains where work from home option is available? And
See, work from home option is definitely available, especially in the scientific writing, also medical writing, because if I am preparing a protocol and anything, clinical report also, work from home option is available. In pharmacovigilance also, the same kind of job you can do from home, but not in medical affair as far as I know. It is usually the like on the toe kind of job. But I would suggest don't look for, don't crave for the work from home at the start of your career. Otherwise, you will never be mentored by anybody until unless you don't work initial year, 2 year, 3 year, or 5 year in the different kind of domain. It is very difficult. Like these big service company like TCS, Accenture, and other big CROs, they have a domain like thousand people are working in the same kind of job, so of course, one person is working, the other person is not working, they hardly bother. But this is my loss. It is my potential loss that I always tell. If you don't work like a donkey, again, I'm using the word very wrong word, but of course, the more hard work you do in your initial 5 years of your any of the career, that will take you next 30 years. So it is really difficult, and I would suggest that don't go for. Of course, it is sometimes it is a requirement, but I have seen the work from home. We also give some time, but it is not advisable for the learner. Initial 5 years is exclusively learning. If you think that in 1 month I have learned, no, it is a very, every slide I can have a 1 month session. So Dr. Reshma also can say that in the medical affair, we can have only medical affair 1 month continuous training program. So it is not a domain. So don't go for work from home at the initiation of your career.
So there's no shortcut to hard work.
No shortcut to hard work.
Yeah.
At least
Sir,
initially, later
yeah.
on you can guide.
Sir, a last question from my side. I don't know, I'm surprised why it is not there in the chat box. Everybody would like to know what is the package. So because usually this is something like, leaving the cat out of the box.
Yeah, definitely. It is a very genuine question. The money is also very important role which is played in our life. It's not only career. I am telling the life also very important role, but not the only role. So when you are doing your PG, as I remember 30 years back, it was a third or fourth pay commissions. So salary was a peanut. Honestly, it was a peanut as compared to industry. Nothing, no comparison at all. When you retire as a professor and HOD or senior professor HOD or principal of a medical college, you can say they were not matching with the fresher salary of a MD pharmacology. So that was the scenario. But now after multiple kind of pay commission now sixth, seventh or all those, so we have got a decent salary in the academia also. But again, with all due regards, I don't know what is the system works in the private colleges, but in the government colleges, the pay commission they hardcore bound. So they have a decent salary, but because they have a kind of surety of the job or whatever the government job is there, so uh, they still, but corporate job is still on a higher side when it comes to the package. Definitely it is a package where the initial, of course, you cannot comparison, but I am talking about after 20 years also, how much salary will increase in academia and how much salary will increase in the corporate is. So but again, as I am telling you and I mentioned that academia has a very crucial, very respected role is now playing in the policy making strategy at the regulatory level. Even if the any guideline comes, everything pharmacology works and there academia people work. So don't think that money is all the thing. If of course everything is good, whatever your personality suits, and but there is a still incentive wise it is a difference.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course, it
Dr.
was a
Ishma,
not
what
concrete
about the
answer.
questions? Yeah,
Yeah, we have a lot of questions in the chat box actually
yeah,
just
and
piling up.
we have 1 minute left.
So, Dr.
Okay.
Reshma, you can do one thing. Just share my email ID. I'm very happy. That's why I'm telling you I'm doing a social activity now after 30 years in the career. Now we
Okay.
can guide the people. They are most welcome to write to me and I'll answer them.
Okay, so then there is also a group with all of the participants. So you can join the group and then actively keep answering the questions. For now, we have, I think because we are, tight on schedule right now, it's 5 p.m. already. I'll save all the questions in the chat. Since the second session also will be somewhere interlinked, we can also, if we have time, we can
Sure.
take it up after the second session also.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rishma, can I just say
Yes, sir.
something?
Yes, sir.
There was a question which was directly directed to you. Like if you can share your just experience about the medical affairs part. If you want to just say a few words about that.
Okay, sure.
Uh,
Yes, sir, sure. It's an interest. I saw the questions. I wasn't sure whether I'm the right person to answer because I have also been on the other side not so long ago. Even when during my MD time, I was really confused whether I should be in academics or in the industry. If in the industry, where to choose, what to choose. But one of the things that also concerned, like one of the students asked, is it like a medical rep job? Are you going door to door? Are you selling products? Let me tell you, if if your mindset is in the right place, when you know where you're very ethically sound and you know that you're going to ensure that the right drug reaches the right patient and to the right doctor to the right disease. If that particular thing is very hard built in your head, you are able to communicate the right things. So then you're not talking, when you're meeting doctors, you're not talking from selling a particular thing, you're basically talking science. You read something, you share whatever you've learned with the clinician, and maybe learn something from their experience and take that back and see where the gaps are. So your role is mainly involves in fulfilling the unmet needs that are happening in the current scenario. You are the only person that can connect the dots between what is happening in the pharma industry and what is happening with the clinician. So your role is very crucial. It's not just to go and sell things. It's more about understanding the gaps in science. Yeah, that is one perspective. But also, let me add quickly that for me too, it was a learning experience because I didn't learn it early. I had to be I needed guidance from my mentors, and they shared their experience with me because we come from a hospital kind of a background. We are not used to a corporate setup. So the initial few years, like sir said, it's important that you work on the field so you understand how things happen, and then you get adjusted, and following which you adapt, and then you learn on the go. Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, very
Right.
nicely,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
explained,
very
Dr.
good. Very good explanation. Very good. Thank you, Dr. Ishwan.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Rajesh sir, for that wonderful session. And I thank Ashok sir for moderating the session. We will now move on to the next session. I will just share my slide to introduce the moderators. Yeah, we have Dr. Sudhir Sarangi with us. Sir is a clinical pharmacologist and an additional member NAMS and additional professor, the Department of Pharmacology, AIMS, New Delhi. The sir has his area of interest in clinical pharmacology, neuropharmacology, pharmacovigilance, drug safety, pharmacogenetics, pharmacoeconomics, computational pharmacology. Very interesting subjects. Sir has his research publications has been more than 50 research papers in index journals, 10 book chapters, H index 14, I-10 index 21, and citations 542. Sir has received multiple awards under his name. To name a few, he has won the Best Poster Award in Neurology as a co-author in the International Student Congress of Biomedical Sciences 2024, Netherlands. Also received the Best Paper Award, first prize, and the second prize in the joint annual conference in the Indian Epilepsy Society, Indian Epilepsy Association 2023. Awarded the bursary from 35th to 34th International Epilepsy Congress 2023. Sir has also obtained the ICMR, International Travel Support for non-ICMR scientists for attending the 33rd International Epilepsy Congress held at Bangkok. Sir has some of the achievements for Sir are he's the Deputy Coordinator of Pharmacovigilance and Material-Vigilance Programs at AIMS New Delhi, member of SAE Subcommittee of Institute Ethics Committee, Executive Ethics Committee member of the Indian Epilepsy Society. Sir is also the inspector in the GLP program by NGCMA, Government of India. Sir is a member of the National Academy of Medical Sciences India, the Indian Epilepsy Society, Indian Pharmacology Society, Indian Society of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics, the Association of Physiologists and Pharmacologists of India, Society of Toxicology India, Indian Society of Nanomedicine, and Delhi Pharmacological Society. We are very happy to have you with us, sir. A very warm welcome. I now would like to welcome the second moderator, Dr. Jignesh Ved. Dr. Jignesh Ved has 14 years of experience in the pharmaceutical medical affairs with Pfizer and Boehringer Ingelheim, presently leading the cardiovascular, renal, metabolic care divisions in Boehringer Ingelheim, India. He's pensioned for academics, literary arts, sustainability, and humanism. And a fun fact of Sir, moonlighting, that is, Sir manages also his twin kids in the family. A very warm welcome to you, Sir. I now hand over to the moderators to introduce our speaker.
Dr. Sudhir, you'd want to go or? Yeah, Reshma. So, yes, I was just a few minutes before this presentation when I was getting ready, fully confident, and I looked into the mirror. It was a very Saturday zombie look. And yeah, so, and that mirror is exactly the story of a CV as we are preparing to step into our professional careers. A good mirror would prompt a honest reflection of the occasion, not exaggerated nor underwhelming, but an honest reflection. And as much excited I am to hear about this topic, I'm equally excited to welcome and introduce Dr. Mukundraj Kini, who is a good friend of mine. Dr. Mukundraj, who is a senior medical advisor for vaccines at Pfizer Limited, with 11 years of experience in medical affairs in companies including Pfizer, J&J, Glenmark, and Zydus Life Sciences, and across many therapy areas, as we can see here. So welcome, Dr. Mukund, and over to you.
Unmute yourself.
We're unable to hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now you're audible. Yes.
Okay. Sorry for the technical glitch. Thanks once again to Dr. Jignesh and Dr. Sudhir for that kind introduction. It is my privilege to have both of you as the moderator for today's session. Just let me share the screen and then we can begin with the presentation. Please let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thanks for that confirmation. I think I would like to start at the beginning of my presentation by thanking NAPT to give me this opportunity on this interesting topic on the resume and interview preparation for pharmaceutical industry. I think there have been a series of lectures from senior experts from industry as well as academia along this entire course. And I think you now have a fair idea of what industry looks like. What are the various options, which includes medical affairs, pharmacovigilance, clinical research. I think once we are aware of all these domains and what they are, I think the next step would be to prepare your resume and to prepare for your interview. So my job today would be to take you through some of the nuances that you need to focus on when you are building your resume and preparing yourself for interview. Okay. So I request you all to pay attention to all the details because these are certain things which we may ignore at the time of working on this resume or interview, but are very, very important when you are considering yourself in the pharmaceutical industry. So a few disclaimers from my side. The views expressed in this presentation are my own. My current company or my past companies are not accountable for these views. A few more disclaimers. This topic is very broad because it varies from industry to industry. It also varies from company to company, what is important, what is not important. Also from interviewer to interviewer. There are differences in the way the interviewers prioritize certain things, and there might be some differences which come out because of that. And finally, role to role. The role that you are applying, if it's a junior level role, a senior level role, then all these pointers that I'm trying to discuss may have to be modified a bit based on the roles that you are planning to enter into. but I'll try to give you around 70 to 80% of the things which would still remain common irrespective of which field within the industry you would be applying. So let me start with this question. And this is the fear when we are planning to enter industry. I have prepared my resume. I have prepared for the interview, but I have a fear in mind that my interview will not go well. I am not fully prepared for the interview. And there are a few reasons which you need to know why you do not get hired. Okay. So whenever you apply for any interviews in any field, I think there are certain things which are important for you to know. The first one is the resume may not be good. Second will be your interviewing skills may not be good. Third is something called as potential, which the interviewer will assess based on the interview. Your ability to adapt in a given role and grow within the career in that field. Okay, so that is your potential. How fast you can adapt to a role, and then how you can grow within the same field, right? That is potential. Then you have some hard skills, which are certain things like your certifications, your degrees, which you have with you. And then we have soft skills. Soft skills are certain things like communication skills, presentation skills, which vary from people to people and vary also from role to role. Certain roles may not require that level of communication skills. Now, what I'm trying to do today is just address the first two. How do we work on a resume that is very good to enter into industry? How do we hone our interviewing skills as a fresher that is going to enter the industry? So let us have a look at these aspects in today's presentation. So coming to a few of the factors that decide how you prepare your resume. So this is like a recipe, right? So when we have a recipe to be prepared, we have certain things which we need to take and we have to decide the amount of each of these things. So what are those things? Okay. To begin with, your resume will change depending on whether you are fresher or experienced. I will be focusing on how to prepare a CV for a fresher in my today's presentation. Second is number of pages in a resume. This may not appear to be important, but this is one of the important aspects that you need to keep it in mind. You cannot have very long page resumes that can be shared, right? Important things to highlight. What to mention, what not to mention is also very important. Okay. So what are the various aspects that you need to cover in a resume has to be in a structured manner. So we'll use all these pointers and create the recipe of a very good CV as we go through this presentation. Okay, to begin with first, we need to decide the format of your resume. Okay, that begins with starting with a template. Okay, you need to have a template in your mind. What kind of template you are going to use for your resume? On the right side, I have shown examples of two resumes. The middle one, which you can see, is a standard resume, which will not have any design element in it. On the right side, you have a design element based resume. I have also given you references below. These are references which you can go to and download the resume styles, and then you can enter your data into those resumes. There are pros and cons for both these formats. I personally prefer a simple format like this, which is there in the middle. The reason is it allows you more space and it allows you to place your data much elaborate manner compared to the one which is the design format. If you see, design format takes a lot of space where you cannot place some data and there might be crowding of the data because of the design of that template. Okay. Having said that, it doesn't mean that you do not use a design template. Nowadays, with Gen Zs coming into play, they always like to have a designer template. So I'm not against a designer template. You can always go for it. But try to be sure that you are not cramping up all the data that is there Try to be very minimalistic in what you are entering into that resume, because there are space constraints. At the same time, there are formatting issues. So because this format is set in such a way that if you enter certain extra text in one component of the resume, it will move the text into the other part of the resume. So just be careful of this formatting choices when you are choosing the template for your resume. The next part is, what do we start with? So the resume will start with your name. Followed by your name will be your address. It can be a short address, your contact details, your email ID, and nowadays the LinkedIn account is also preferred by many recruiters. So LinkedIn has become a good professional resource for recruiters to reach out to candidates. So if you do not have your LinkedIn account created, I would recommend that all PGs should create their LinkedIn account, because it's a way you can network with the industry experts as well as with your co-colleagues and understand the industry better through these connects. Then coming to the first section, as you can see in this template, will be your summary. Summary will be a brief about your journey. It should start with your qualification. Say, I am a MD in pharmacology with so and so experience, right? So it can include your clinical experience, your academic experience, your publications in a short format. It should briefly tell what are your key skills and qualifications. So for a fresher, that is what is something which is important. And also your vision. It can include your vision. What are you planning to get into the industry? Okay, so is it the medical affairs? It's the clinical research, it's pharmacovigilance. So a line mentioning that also is to be mentioned in the summary. The next is the qualification. Qualification follow the format of mentioning the degree, the college, and the year of passing. Avoid tables. Okay, so tables will affect the format of your CV. So try to always mention it in a line format, but include all the details like your degree, your college, and the year of passing. If you are pursuing your degree, then the start date will be mentioned and the end date will be mentioned as present. Okay, so say October of 2018 until present, something like that would be the way you will mention if you are pursuing your MD. If you have completed your MD, please mention the exact month of completing your MD. Don't include any unnecessary information about your past high school related achievements. That is not required. Only mention about your MBBS and MD degree or any other degree which is relevant to the medical field or the role that you are applying for. Okay. And qualification means it should be a degree. Avoid mentioning certifications here. Certifications you can mention later on in some other section in the resume. Then we go into the academic experience. Academic experience is what did you do in your PG course, okay? So something like taking the lectures, experiments, working in a pharmacovigilance center, right? ADR reporting, all these things what you do as a part of your PG program. Please mention all those details under the academic experience session. Then we have the thesis and dissertation. Try to make a separate section of your thesis and dissertation. Mention the specific details of your project with the correct thesis name and the duration of your thesis. Like for example, it was for 2 years, 3 years. Try to mention those details. So this will be the first part of your CV that will be starting with your template, your personal details, summary, qualification, academic experience, and your thesis or dissertation. Now we move to the next part. The next section will be on your clinical experience. Clinical experience should be a proper clinical experience. Okay, so short experience, try to avoid mentioning those. If it is 6 months and above, try to include what was your role, what was the place or the hospital, and what was the duration. Say from October 2019 till October 2022. So mention the exact period for which you were in that role. So this might not be relevant for all of you. If you have directly entered industry after your MD, it's okay. But if there was a gap between your MBBS and MD where you had clinical experience, or gap between you completing your MD and then joining industry, then these are the places where you can include your clinical experience. That will help the interviewer understand which kind of patients you have handled, and that may help as one of the criteria for you when a particular position is being considered. Then we move on to the posters and publications. So make a separate section on your posters and publication. Mention, even if you have submitted some poster, you can always mention the name of the poster. Bracket you can mention as submitted. Same thing is for publications. If you have submitted some publication, it might not have been accepted, but always mention the title of your publication. If it is already presented, please mention the details. Poster presented at which conference in which month. Okay, so try to be very specific about your posters and publications. Then we go on to your achievements. When you're writing your achievements, please be very, very specific about your achievements. Try to include those things like awards. If you have received some award in the past within the medical field, okay, not out of the medical field, the awards related to the medical field, related to the research, which can help you give the added advantage over other candidates. Also mention if you have won any first prize, second prize, third prize at the posters and the papers at various conferences, right? So all these things are to be included in achievements. Do not club it in the posters and publication section. Try to mention it separately as your achievement, right? So presenting a poster is separate from winning the best prize, best poster, or even a third prize for a poster, right? So try to include it in your achievements. And then there are some additional things which are good to have. They are not must to have. It all depends on what is the opportunity that you have got to get all those things into your CV. So these are optional things, but these are always an added advantage when there are 3, 4 candidates that are being evaluated for a particular role. So what are these additional things? Starting with internships. So if your college allows you to do certain internships in pharmaceutical industry, please include those internship as a separate category, mentioning what you did during your internship. Certain colleges have a tie-up with BABE centers. So if you are working there as a part-time investigator, medical officer, also mention that in your CV. Any certifications. Nowadays, lot of websites are available which are providing you certifications on GCP, on pharmacovigilance, clinical research. So all these certifications can be mentioned in the certifications category. Nowadays, I see a lot of CVs of MD pharmacology students where they have listed CPP as one of their certifications. So I think it's a proud achievement for the NAPT team that a lot of students from the past batch, they have already incorporated the CPP certification in their CVs, and in the certification session, this is appearing as one of the key advantages for them when they are applying for such roles. Then make a separate section for your workshops and conferences. All the workshops that you attend, like GCP workshop, pharmacovigilance workshop, pharmacoeconomics, pharmacogenomics, we have a lot of options in the MD pharmacology space. And all these workshops conducted by reputed organizations, associations will always help you to strengthen your CV and show your desire to update yourself. If you are working on any projects or research work, like some ICMR projects or any projects within your college, please mention a separate section for those projects and highlight what are the key objectives and achievements of that project. And finally, any extracurricular activities you can always mention. You have been involved in anything which is outside your medical field. Try to mention a few of the things like volunteering activities and all that tells overall about you as a person, which you can include, and these are all optional. And then towards the end, please mention your personal details like the nationality, your hobbies, languages known, and whether you have a passport or do not have a passport. Because in certain roles, it may demand that you need to travel to other countries. So it is always better to have a passport. And if you have, so please mention that in your personal details. And lastly, we have the references section. So references section ideally should be from a person with whom you have worked closely. Okay. So for a fresher, I would suggest that either the HOD's name or the PG guide name should be mentioned as references. If you have any of your seniors who are in the industry, but they know you, then you can also mention their name, right? So there should be some connect between the person who you are mentioning as a reference, so that if the organization wants to reach out to them, then they should be in a position to mention something about you professionally as well as personally when they are trying to get the details. So these are the basic things which you need to keep in mind when you are preparing your resume. Okay. Now we have understood what is the format. Now coming to few quick tips that you need to keep in mind when you are preparing your CV. First is maximum 2 pages of CV. Okay, your CV should not be more than 2 pages. If your CV is more than 2 pages, that means you are trying to include extra details in your CV which are not required. Okay, and more so if you are a fresher, because fresher has limited experience to share in their CV. So we would expect it to be somewhere between 1 to 2 pages. So don't exceed beyond this 1 to 2 pages. Try to restrict to minimal information. No long paragraphs. Please keep this in mind. Try to mention bullet points, right? So if you remember when we were studying for MBBS, we used to prefer textbooks which are mentioning the pointers in bullet forms and not the ones which are long paragraphs, right? This is a pattern that we follow. So same thing applies when you are preparing a CV. Try to keep the sentences short, okay? At the same time, convey the main message that needs to go to the interviewer. Wrong chronological order. Try to follow the order that I have mentioned. Don't mix up the orders. Suddenly mentioning your experience, then mentioning your qualification, then mentioning something else. Try to follow the order that I have suggested in this, even though this is not a prototype order, but it is a good practice to follow a chronological order sequence wise in your CVs. Avoid typos and errors. I have seen some CVs which are being copied from some other CVs. Okay. So it may so happen that there are already errors there and you copy those CVs and then the errors continue into your CV. So double check for all the typos and errors. This gives a message to the interviewer that you are paying attention to the details. Ensure your formatting is correct. As I mentioned, there should not be alignment issues. There should be a clear demarcation of all the pointers that you're mentioning, proper spacing. So all these things you need to keep in mind. As I've already mentioned, use pointers. It's important to use pointers instead of statements. Don't feel unwanted things. Be very precise to the message that you want to give. Don't add extra details. This is a very important message that you need to remember. Don't use buzzwords in your CV. Okay. It is a good practice that many people find that if I mention these buzzwords, then it will be considered better for my candidature. But try to understand that you are a fresher, and as a fresher, you may not have examples to prove all these things. Okay. And some of these things may not be possible to prove also, like something like a go-getter, right? Think outside of the box, right? So these are buzzwords which we should try to avoid. Instead of this, mention your specific accomplishments. Mention what you did. Let the interviewer interpret based on that statement whether you are dynamic, whether you are proactive, right? You yourself don't conclude that you are proactive, you are a team player, right? So it's very difficult to give examples of all these buzzwords as a fresher in the industry. So avoid these buzzwords in your CVs. Be honest. This is a humble request to all the aspirant PGs. Make sure your resume is 100% genuine and it does not contain any false information, especially in terms of completion of your degrees, internships. There should not be registration of degrees. There should not be any gaps in that, as well as your experience. If you are having experience in something, clearly mention what is the experience for 6 months, 1 year, whatever it is, as well as your certifications. So ensure that they are all genuine and your resume reflects your experience, which has been a part of your life as a PG. Okay. Now, what is the format that we use for a resume? You have to use a business format, which is easy to read font. Prefer a Times New Roman or a Calibri as a font style. Don't use other font styles because sometimes flashy font styles will not send the right message. So try to stick to simple Times New Roman or Calibri. Properly space the content. Make important information stand out. Whatever is a highlight of your career, try to highlight it in bold. Consider using bold text for job positions and section headers. Okay, so for example, academic experience, it has to be bold. Clinical experience, it has to be bold. And then under that section, you mention in a normal font, not in a bold font. So all the titles need to be in bold. Include keywords. Use the words that directly relate to the position in which you're applying for. Okay. And how do you get those keywords? Okay. To get those keywords, you need to know something called a job descriptions. Okay. Which we call as JD. Okay. JD is the job description that is set for a particular role by the company. Suppose it's a medical advisor role, what is expected as a medical advisor? If it's a pharmacovigilance role, what is expected as a pharmacovigilance expert? So that will be defined by the particular company. You need to read these job descriptions if you want to understand how you are going to best prepare your CV. Whatever is there in your job description and you have some experience related to it, try to include those words in your CV. For example, clinical research, pharmacovigilance. Try to include those words with examples in your CV. I'll show you a few examples of the job descriptions. Okay. Now, what are the sources from where you will get these job descriptions? The best source currently is LinkedIn. You have a lot of job openings there. You can go through them. The entire job description is maintained. You also have naukri.com. You can access this website, register yourself, and you will also find job descriptions there. And there are some other websites which you can access and get the job descriptions. Okay. Now, this is one example of medical advisor, right? So somebody asked a question, what is the role of medical advisor? If you just go on the websites which I have mentioned and check the job description of a medical advisor, everything that a medical advisor is supposed to do in that role is already mentioned in those job descriptions. Please go through all these job descriptions in detail. You will understand what all forms the part of the role of a medical advisor. There is a job purpose also mentioned. Okay. So what is the purpose of the job? And you should be aware of that purpose of the job. So whether it's medical advisor, pharmacovigilance or clinical research or medical writing, every job description has all these details. Please go through this in detail. Okay. As you can see here, the specifics are mentioned, like you need to have experience with protocols, you need to have experience of training, you need experience on pharmacovigilance activities. So as you go through these job descriptions, you will understand what among this you have some experience as a fresher. Everything you will not have experience, but try to mention all those pointers in your CV. This is another example of the responsibilities of a medical advisor. I'll not go into details of all this. What is also important to check is the required skill set and the degrees. So they will specify which kind of degree that you need to have to get this particular job. Okay. So kindly check all this detail properly. Also, they will mention the experience. Okay, what is the experience required? 0 to 1 years, 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years. This is a very common mistake by freshers that if it is mentioned as 2 to 3 years, they will usually not apply for that role. Don't do that. You can always apply. There is no harm in applying. If the company does not get a suitable senior candidate, they may choose a fresher. So don't lose that opportunity. Don't apply for roles which are mentioning only freshers. Apply for around 2 to 3 years experience roles also. If they are not getting suitable candidate, they may come back to you and consider your candidature. So just keep this in mind. Of course, if it is more than 5 years, then please do not apply for those roles, because then there will be a specific requirement for high experience roles. Then there are certain specifics about those roles. Like somebody mentioned, what is the difference between a field-based role like a MSL and a head office-based role? So even those things are clearly mentioned in the job description. Please go through them. And what are the specific requirements? If you are in a field-based role, 60 to 70% of your time will be into traveling and working with the sales colleagues or the HCPs, which are based in those particular locations. So you have to be aware of these nuances of that particular role, which you will understand when you go through the JD of that role. Okay. Also go through some of the short forms. Try to understand the meanings of those short forms like HEOR, market access, NIR, non-interventional research, right? So try to understand the full forms of these terminologies, because during the interviewer may ask you these questions. Also look at the experience and knowledge, right? In experience and knowledge, you will identify the things which you have some experience on, like good communication and presentation skills. As a part of your MD curriculum, you always are involved into taking lectures, presenting on your seminars. That will hone your presentation skills. So you need to mention those in your CVs, right? Understanding of scientific publications. You should mention your publications in your CV. Your GCP training, clinical trial design and process. If you have attended a GCP workshop, that means you have a fair knowledge of clinical trial design. Then we have HEOR, if you have attended pharmacoeconomic workshops. So it gives an idea that you have a knowledge of this specific skills. So please go through the JD. It will answer all your questions on what a medical advisor role is, what a pharmacovigilance role is, what a clinical research role is. So this is in brief about what a resume preparation is. Now we will move on to the interview preparation. So let me start with a few tips for interview. Okay. So interview is about how well you communicate what you have done and how critically you can think, as well as what is your attention to detail and professionalism. Okay. So these are the things which will be checked in an interview. Okay. So just keep that in mind and prepare for your interview. Check for the company values and purpose. If you are appearing for an interview in a company, go to their website. Check what are their values. Understand what are their ways of thinking about pharmaceutical industry. So that will help you to be ready if any question comes on that. Check the products. If you know that you are appearing in one particular company, say neurology domain, go and check on their website what are the products that are there in their neurology domain, right? Dress appropriately for your interviews. Time management skills. Arrive very much well on time, whether it's a physical interview or an online interview. That is very important, and set and keep yourself ready for the interview. Keep your phone on silence. This is a mistake that happens whenever a fresher applies for an interview. Keep your phone on silent because it will keep on disturbing you during your interview. When you are answering, keep your answers clear and succinct. Unless asked, don't answer. Okay. So this is a common practice. The interviewer will ask you something, but you will tell more than what is asked. That is not a good practice. If you are asked on certain aspect, please answer only on that aspect. And most important, have confidence and clarity when you are giving the interview. Don't be nervous, be confident. And with that confidence, I think most of you will be able to crack the interview. Okay, a few more things you need to keep in mind when you are preparing for the interviews. Use information provided to you. Recruiters will be able to give you an overview of the process. Ask the recruiters what is the process, when the interviews will happen, what are the levels of interview, HR interview is there, manager interviews are there. Understand those from the HR who is connecting with you. Make sure you have understood the role and have the relevant knowledge of that role. This will happen through your job description. It will also happen through you connecting with your seniors. Connect with your seniors who are already in that role. They will give you an idea of what is the role. Okay. Do a test run in advance. If it's a virtual call, join in advance, check your cameras, check your sounds so that there are no issues when you're starting with your interview. Then position your camera and height at a distance so that the camera has a clear view of your face. This is important in virtual calls. Okay, so practice doing that in some other scenario before you actually appear for your interview. Do not have any distractions in your background. You need to have a neutral background which probably does not have anything seen in your background, or you can use the option of blur that is nowadays available when you're answering your interviews. And dress formally for all the interviews, whether it's your virtual or it's a face-to-face. Sometimes in virtual interviews, people assume that they need not dress properly as compared to a face-to-face interview, but please do not do that. Be in a formal attire so that the seriousness of the interview is maintained. Close any distractions or notifications that you have. Do not tap your pen or appear distracted during the interview. Always look directly into the camera when you are presenting yourself in the interview. And smile and continuously give signals that you are understanding the interviewer and you are trying to have an interaction. Don't have a blank face. So there has to be a constant interaction between the interviewer and interviewee. Keep a good posture. This is important. Use less hand gestures. Sometimes you use a lot of hand gestures when you are presenting in the interview. So please avoid that. Don't read from notes. Don't carry any notes. They are not required. Just prepare well and then go for an interview and answer the questions that are asked. This is again, I am trying to reiterate here. Don't answer additional questions. Only those which are asked, please answer those questions. These are some of the questions that are traditionally asked. You can prepare on them, like tell me about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your hobbies? What do you know about your company? What are your weaknesses? Why are you interested in this role? Why should we hire you? So these are some of the questions which are common, and you can prepare some standard answers for these questions in discussion with your seniors, professors, and then accordingly answer these questions. Practice being calm in the interview. Ask intelligent questions which can help you understand the role better. Okay. It's always a good practice for freshers to ask questions on the role. Follow up. After your interview, please follow up from a timely manner with the HR about the status of your interview and ask them what are the next steps, the next level of interviews, and the next round of interviews with the managers and HR. So just keep these things in mind so that you are well ready for the interview. Choti choti magar moti baatein, as I call them, for those who don't understand Hindi, what this means is these are small things, but they make a big impact in your interviews. Okay, so just keep these three things in mind. Be a very good listener during your interview. Listen to the question carefully. Sometimes the question is not understood well by the interviewee and they answer something else. Okay, so listen properly. What is the question? Answer to the point and be polite. Do not be rude. Even if the question is not good, please do not be rude. Answer to the point. Whatever you know, you answer. If you don't know something, please say you don't know. Okay. Don't try to frame up an answer just to please the interview. And lastly, do not argue with the interviewer. Okay. So as a fresher, we need to keep it in mind that all the interviewers will come with a different mindset. So there might be questions or discussions during which the interviewer may say something. Please do not argue with the interviewer. Whatever has been asked, please politely answer to those questions. Please keep these three things in mind. So I come to the end of my presentation. These are the pearls of wisdom which I would like to share with all of you. I have followed all this in my entire career of 11 years in medical affairs, and I'll request all of you to follow this. First is believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your powers, you cannot be successful or happy. Have faith in your abilities. Most of the times, I find the candidates are nervous. They are good, but they appear nervous in interviews. Don't do that. Have faith in your abilities. You will always succeed. Every experience in your life is being orchestrated to teach you something you need to move forward. So don't think why this is happening in my life. So as you go into your career, you will understand the roles change, the opportunities change. So don't feel that why is this happening in my life? Everything that is happening in your life is to teach you something and learn the things from those and move ahead in your life. Don't keep on repenting. Why did it happen with me? Just move forward. Then is take risks. If you win, you will be happy. If you lose, you will be wise. So everything you cannot learn by winning. There are many things you will learn by losing. So also, if you lose somewhere, focus on what is the learning and it will help you to grow in your career. This is the most important thing which I would tell all freshers to follow. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Okay, this is something which is very important. I am not able to do an internship in pharmaceutical industry. Doesn't matter, it's okay. Okay, there are certain people who get the opportunity, certain people will not get the opportunity. Start where you are, use what you have. I don't get opportunities to attend national conferences. It's okay. You will obviously get more opportunities as you grow in your career. Then, when one door closes, another opens. This is very important. But we often look at so long and regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which is open. Many of the freshers want to enter certain companies. So they will appear only for those companies. They will not appear for other companies. Don't do that. Appear for all the opportunities. Try to work in different environments. It will always help you to grow. And finally, do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. There are certain things which you have good skills in, focus on them. Don't focus on what you cannot do. Okay. So you will slowly improve on what you cannot do. So if you keep these things in your mind, you will succeed in any career, not just in pharmaceutical industry, but any career that you choose. With this, I would like to end my presentation. I would like to thank, first of all, my alma mater, Goa Medical College, from where I did my MBBS and MD in pharmacology. And this is the place where I developed love for pharmacology, which continues till date. So, first of all, thanks to my alma mater. I would also like this to take this opportunity to thank NAPT Organizing Committee for CPP, Dr. Jitendra, Dr. Kamal, and Dr. Reshma for giving me this opportunity to present before the young minds in pharmacology. Thanks.
Wow, Dr. Mukundraj, and I wish I had heard you during my PG days. It would have helped me better. Yeah, Dr. Sudhir. Sorry, you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mukund, for these nice presentations. And you have given a lucid and detailed presentation how to prepare a good CV for attaining a good post. So there are several questions in this box. So
Yeah.
I have thought about this question. This question has first of all come up. So can you describe how to put your strength and weakness? Suppose you are expecting to for a position in a company. and that is for a particular maybe pharmacovigilance or maybe clinical research. How will you put your strength and limitations so that you will the recruiter will think that yes, you are the best one for this position?
Yeah. So I think this question is more in terms of answering for an interview, because usually when we are preparing our CVs, we usually do not put our strengths and weaknesses. So basically, it is a part of the interview process where the interviewer will try to judge the interviewee on the basis of the questions that he's asking. And that is the place where he will try to ask those questions. Okay. So let me be clear that we are referring to the interview question and not the CV. So we are not going to mention these things in the CV. When this question is asked to the interviewee, the objective of the interviewer is to understand from him what are the things that he considers are the strengths. Okay. When we are, he should not be answering. There is no prototype answer for this. Okay. And especially when it's a fresher. If it's a senior person, like say for 3 years or 4 years in industry looking for a higher role, then the answer will be little different, because that the expectations for the higher roles are different. But I will restrict myself to the fresher. Okay, when I'm looking at a fresher, what is that I will look as his strength? Okay, so strength for a fresher would be his exposure during his academics. Okay, his willingness to update himself. Okay, his willingness to participate in activities which are not usual during the PGs. So if you are doing say seminars, if I'm doing seminar, so that will not be my strength. That is something which is coming up as a course of your PG. It should be something which I tried to do differently in the role that I was in. Okay. So a different publication, not a regular thing. So doing a thesis is not something which is your strength. Everybody has to do a thesis. How different is your thesis topic? Okay. And how you are able to convey that thesis topic to me. So when I'm answering as an interviewee, I should be able to tell the interviewer that I demonstrated this skill in the interview, in the thesis. Okay, when I selected my topic, it was an unusual topic, it was a never done topic. So I like to do things which are different, right? So that is something which I will convey, but this is not something which I should upfront say, right? It should be with the example. The answer should be with the example. And then you leave to the interviewer what is the strength that he will interpret from it. It should not be for a fresher, it should not be a direct calling out of the strength. Okay, because sometimes the fresher may not be able to word it. Okay, so just saying will not be enough that I am proactive, I am having attention to detail. So using these words is not what the interviewer will look to. He will look to examples, okay, which will demonstrate a particular behavior, and the student should identify such examples in their tenure. Okay. So for example, say a particular clinical study is being done. So how I did it differently from the usual way of doing it. What is the normal newer methodology I used? Uh, Probably there was no clinical study done before like this. So what are those elements, new elements that I bring out through my interventions as a PG, right? So these are some of the things which we will look up to when you're answering your strengths. Weaknesses, when you're answering as a fresher, your weakness will be on the skills. Okay. So whatever are your skills, you should be aware of how good you are at those skills. Okay. For example, if you think that you have good presentation skills, what is that you think is not good in the presentation skill? That should be your answer. So if you are used to doing publications, okay, I have an exposure of having doing this kind of publications. I do not have exposure to this kind of publication. So that will give the interviewer an idea as to you are analyzing your work and trying to present to the interview instead of calling out, okay, that I am not good at presentation skills. So that should not be the answer. Your answer should be what element of presentation skills you think you are not good at. Okay, so that would be the way of framing the answers. So there is no set answer which I can give you, and the interviewer will be impressed with those answers. So it should come from your CV. It should come from your experience. And that is what we will look when we are looking at the candidates.
Thank you.
Can I just have a
Yeah.
follow-up question on this, please? So Mukundraj, I think see this is one important point, and aligning the strengths and weaknesses to the industry expectations. You did mention about job description. I think that was a very good example where it gives a clear idea of what is expected from that job. And in my initial interviews, that is one area where that was my blind spot. I never looked at the job description, rather my own past experiences. Probably that could be one area which can help in the alignment of expectations vis-a-vis our competencies.
Right. So I think job description is the answer to most of the questions. You will find the answers to all the questions in the interview. Okay. Something like a question which can come to you, why should we hire you? If a question like this comes, if you are able to convince the interviewer based on how you well read the JD is and what are the skills that you have, match that JD is your answer. Right? So that is how you answer. So JD is the answer for all your questions.
Yeah, Mr. Mukund, I have a question. Suppose the candidate who has done some thesis work in some animal research, now he has a post where he has to apply for the clinical research post. So how he will present himself, or in the interview, also in the CV, is there any need of modification in the CV, or how he'll present himself so that there will be a chance for him?
Yeah. So, see, the ideal way is that you should have a clarity on what you are going to do in your career before you take decisions related to your thesis. That would be the ideal form. And then accordingly, you choose a thesis topic which will give you the advantage when you are applying for that post. So that is what you should do is the ideal scenario for those who are young PGs. Just keep it in mind that whenever you are thinking of your thesis topic, think of your career. Don't wait for you to decide in the third year. In the first year itself, decide what is that in your career that you are looking up to, and then try to work. So that will be my first message. But coming to your question, if they have done an animal study, and then if they want to apply for clinical research, we should remember that our degree is MD pharmacology, right? When we are doing a degree like MD pharmacology, we have exposures to different types of clinical research domains, right? Through workshops, we can be a part, we can connect with the investigators in those hospitals. A lot of hospitals and clinical trials are expanding in India like anything now. So not only international, so in earlier it was just international global trials which were having India as a site. Now we have indigenous trials, right, in India. So try to that person should work with one of the investigators in the hospital in which he is doing his MD, and just have some hands-on experience with that. It should not be like a 3 month or 4 month internship. It can just be 1 month or 2 month interaction with the investigator. They are always happy to help you. And I think that will give one added advantage to the person. And MD pharmacology as a course is enough, even if your thesis is not on clinical research, for you to get into clinical research. Okay, because as a fresher you need to have knowledge of basic clinical research. What is GCP? What are the schedules that are followed? What are NDCT rules? These are some of the basic things which come as a part of our GCP workshops. So always that can be put as an advantage. And animal study is not a bad thesis topic. It is thesis is something which will give you a research alignment. I think animal study is not a bad study to have as a thesis topic. Even if you want to enter industry, it is not that if you have done an animal study, you cannot enter industry. There are a lot of my friends who have done animal studies and they are doing very well in industry now, because you go with your degree. And with MD pharmacology comes all this exposure of GCP, of trials, lot of ethics committees. I think almost all. I don't think so there will be any ethics committee where a pharmacologist is not there in the ethics committee. Okay, as far as I know, I think one pharmacologist sort of is mandatory to be in the EC committee, and it is one of the professors or associate professors of the pharmacology department. That is the time where the PGs, I am aware of a lot of medical college who have internship in ethics committees. So when they are doing their PG, 1 month or 2 months, they will be posted in the working of the EC committee. EC committee gives you exposure of clinical research. EC committee is one of the elements of clinical research and very important element of clinical research where you are evaluating. So I'll just give one example. Recently, I was interviewing one candidate. He was doing his MD pharmacology, and he had a very good thesis topic. So I asked him, how did you think of this topic? Because as a MD pharmacology, I thought that it's very difficult for him to design this topic. So his answer to me was very striking to me. So he said that he attended his ethics committee posting. And when he attended his ethics committee posting, one of the clinical professors, he was doing one study on a topic on which he read the topic. And that gave rise to another topic thesis. Okay, so if he was not there as a part of the EC committee, then he would have not thought of that topic. So these are exposures which will give you an idea of the way the clinical research is done. So all these options are there. There's no need to worry. Even if you have done your animal studies, you can take exposures from other ways and also talk about your experience on GCP and other workshops. Even NAPT is doing a lot of, I think, GCP workshops where virtual options are nowadays available, which were not there early, and we can address those requirements.
Can I add one line here?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a really good elaboration from your side. I just wanted to add, like in my presentation itself, I told that during MD pharmacology, we should take the course very seriously. It is for the comprehensive exposure. And now the colleges and the institutes are having lot of things what Mukundaraj said, that the ethics committee, it cannot be without any pharmacologist. So you can attach with your professor. He will be very happy if you are supporting your professor to evaluate that clinical trial to which that professor is going to review. You can be part of the clinical trial which is happening in that institute. You can be part of the pharmacovigilance center which is running. So it is not an animal study and all those which I told in the like analytical also. We understand gas chromatography also, HPLC also. It doesn't mean that is our career. No, it is one of the part of our MD pharmacology curriculum. We should be power packed when we come out. We are not expecting from the fresher that he knows everything. But I feel very sad. Like recently, like I can give you many example. They are not aware what is phase 1, 2, 3, 4 clinical study. If it is, I'm not expecting that he has worked in that, but theoretical knowledge at least he should have, and that is the minimal expectation. And for any interviewer, we don't expect that what he is going to do, what seriously he has done his or her job seriously with integrity with sincerity in the past thing. And past for a pressure is a MD pharmacology course of 3 years. In 3 years what he has done, even the person who has worked in the industry also 1 or 2 year, we want to explore how serious he or she was during his 2 years tenure. So that is everybody should keep in mind, and Dr. Mukundra has very well elaborated it. So we should utilize and the completely our 3 years course in a very intensive way. That is my request to all HODs also, that and the faculties, please give them hardship kind of thing like MD medicine. If you ask the MD medicine or MS surgery, orthopedics, how much do they work? Why can't we a little bit go closer to them also, so that we can create our career like anything? Then we'll not face any kind of problem. I am just telling you. So it's over to you. Thanks. It was my pain which I was sharing with all of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Doctor. So I am in the academic field. So Dr. Mukundas nicely told, and I am just telling to all the participants in this workshop that see, thesis is not the single thing you are doing. MD pharmacology is a broader term, and it is not a
Yeah.
spoon-feeding thing.
It
In
is a
many
package.
institutes, yeah, in many institutes, yes, it is a purview of the thesis guide in what role he is doing and what research he is doing. He may impact you, that he may tell you that do research in this field. That doesn't matter to you. So what matters to you is how much knowledge you have
Yeah.
regarding the pharmacology aspects. It is clinical pharmacology, regulatory pharmacology, experimental pharmacology, all the things, pharmacovigilance, different aspects. So how much knowledge you have, that is major things. It is not that what is your research topic, that is the most important thing to judge
Yes.
you, that you have the knowledge on these things.
Exactly.
So to
And
have a
just
broader knowledge is, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing. Actually, I'll also like to share that your animal studies knowledge helps you a lot. I was working on comparing one of the competitor molecules in one of my previous roles, and I was not able to find any differentiating point in the clinical studies. Okay, so the clinical studies were all comparable. I was not finding any differential point on the comparing the two molecules. So what I did is I thought let me go to the animal studies, and I went into the animal studies and what was the inhibition dose for that animal studies, and I used that point to make a comparative communication between the two projects. So if I had not moved to animal studies at that point of time, then at that point of time there was nothing clinical which would help me. So the knowledge of pharmacology is vast,
Yeah.
and it is always going to help you. God knows where and how, but always be very good at all your concepts in animal studies as well.
So one last query from my side. So suppose you have done some publications as a student in different fields, maybe in cardiovascular field, maybe in some review research, something like that, maybe in different aspects, neurology, cardiology, all these things. And now you are applied for a position which is related to, suppose, say, neurology things. So how will you present yourself? Sir, I am very much interested in neurology. I have done only two research in research, but I have also done in cardiovascular research, something like that. Or you'll just skip these cardiovascular things, only highlight your neurology things.
Yeah. So, see, this is more of an individual thing. So, yeah, see, the roles that may be available when the candidate is applying. Let us say I have interest in cardiovascular, right? But say the role that is available at that point of time, okay, does not make it very compulsory for you to have interest in that therapy. Okay. In fact, I feel that there should not be any MD pharmacologist who should have interest in one therapy.
Yeah.
I think MD pharmacologist
Okay.
means who has interest in all therapies.
True.
Okay, so I think we should not try to present ourselves. I agree that I will have interest for one therapy over another therapy. But when you are applying for industry, please understand that the ways of working are going to be the same. Your interest in therapy is not just going to be the requirement. As you grow in your career, you may have to change therapies. I have worked in 8 therapy areas. And after working in all 8 therapy, none of the therapy areas I have ever found a challenge. And some of those therapies are not the ones which I used to like very much when I was in my MBBS or my MD. But as I said, see, even if you don't like that therapy, your role is different. You are not going to practice in that therapy, right? Suppose I don't like neurology, I'm not going to treat, I'm going to discuss with them on the aspects of the drug, okay, as our communication. So that knowledge is irrespective of your therapy, because if MD pharmacologist as a faculty, as a field, is going to have choice for particular therapies, then there will be no time where other field experts are going to enter into medical affairs roles. So we have to be agnostic. I am okay with working in any therapy at any point of time in my
Yeah,
career.
it has to be. Yeah.
That's fine.
Adaptability is
You
a
are
very,
enthusiastic. Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Dr. Zaki.
in any domain, clinical research, publication, pharmacovigilance, you medical affair, every time you have to change your therapy area. And we have to be ready with that. MD pharmacologist, if it is not, then who?
Yeah,
So
it
it
is
is,
not particular to any domains. Basically, thing is that how much enthusiasm you have, how much depth of knowledge in the field you have. That
Yeah.
matters. It
Yeah.
is not restricted to any particular field that you have worked in. This field means you are only suitable for this field area.
Yeah.
So you can have multiple options in future also, and you have to do the job in multiple fields also.
True.
Yeah. And Dr. Jignesh, any more questions?
No, that's it. We are at 6:11, and it
Yeah.
was wonderful listening to Dr. Mukundraj and Dr. Rajesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Reshma. Thanks, Dr. Jitendra sir, and to all our colleagues. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank
You.
thank you all. So over to Dr. Reshma. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. I was unable to unmute. Thank you very much for that wonderful session, Dr. Mukund. It was really good. It was really inspiring to see the kind of discussions we have reached, today throughout the entire day. Thank you very much, Jignesh sir. Thank you very much, Sudhir sir. And, the kind of moderation that has been going on in the discussion today, that has also been amazing. The questions, I think most of the takeaway points happened in our interactions. Like the sessions are really insightful, and then we take away from the interactions. A special thank to Dr. Rajesh Kumawat sir. Thank you for your inputs in this session as well. We have now come to the end of all the sessions. I would like to, before we close, there are some virtual feedbacks we have received from the student. I would like to share those. Just a minute. Jitendra sir, can I begin sharing those? Is it okay? Admin, please allow me to share.
Good to go, ma'am.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Abdul Singh, working as SR in GT Hospital in Mumbai. I had the opportunity to attend this online certificate course for pharmaceutical physician, and I must say it was a truly enriching experience. The sessions were thoroughly designed, highly informative, and delivered with great clarity. Each faculty member brought in-depth knowledge of the topics, and the scenarios were discussed were of practical importance in the pharmaceutical field. The interactive nature of sessions, along with the real-world case discussions, made learning many more practical. And the course has not only broadened my perspective, but also strengthened my confidence in the applying these concepts in the professional practice. The only improvement I would like to suggest is increase the duration of the talks and make it more informative and keep more time for the discussion part. Overall, it was very well structured and valuable program that I would strongly recommend to the people who are in peripheral colleges. They should or must take it. And in end, I would like to thank the organizers, Major Dr. Jitendra Singh, Dr. C.M. Kamal, and Dr. Reshma. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
We have 2-3 more virtual feedbacks, but I think because in the interest of time, I will share one more right now. And then maybe we can go on to some live feedbacks.
You can share it in the group also later on. Those recorded ones. Thank you.
Okay, sir, no problem. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to say a few words?
Ma'am, do I need to give the permission to unmute themselves?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, participants can unmute themselves and can give their feedback.
Hello.
Reshma, you need to on. Yeah.
Uh, Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, very much.
So first of all, thank you so much for this well-structured course and very insightful question. It covered the wide range of topics in a short duration span, and I will like thank you for such a grateful session like medical affairs, global as well as Indian perspective by Dr. Mukherjee, followed by pharmacovigilance insights, BE studies, and also insights about the AI and machine learning in pharmaceutical industry by Dr. Amay Mande. And we had very interesting session by the Dr. Santosh Tor regarding the networking and personal branding. And obviously today's session regarding the pharmaceutical career path by Dr. Rajesh, and the most beautiful session regarding the resume and how to face the interview preparation by the Dr. Mukund Raj, and the important highlight by Dr. Jignesh regarding the how to focus on to the JD also to prepare the interview. So the overall session was very insightful, and it bridged the gap between the academic and real world pharmaceutical point of view. So it covered the all 360-degree area of information. So this course helped me to strengthen my interest into the medical affairs. So I'm deeply grateful to the organization, especially the Dr. Reshma Kodros and her insight, deep, grateful insight regarding the medical affairs, and Dr. CM Kamal and the whole NAPT team for making such a meaningful learning journey. So thank you so much. And regarding, I will like to suggest if there is something as we are a pharmaceutical physician, so we must know the knowledge regarding the medical affairs as well as regulatory medical affairs. So if there is possible regarding one session from the regulatory team or something from the marketing team, so I think it will help to be knowledge collect regarding the cross functional teams. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You may introduce yourself, your name, your institution. Please.
I am Dr. Komal Gurade. I completed my MBBS and MD pharmacology from the KM Hospital, Mumbai. And currently, I am joined as a medical advisor at a Sun Pharmaceutical company. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Komal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Komal. That was a very nice, elaborate feedback, and the points are well taken. Is there anyone else who wants to give a feedback? Okay, so we will move on in the interest of time. So I would like to say a few words. So all participants, this is for you. We began this initiative with one thought in mind. The questions and the apprehensions that every MD pharmacologist has, and we face before we step into the pharma industry. So I myself was in the same shoes, not a long ago, and I know that the struggle is real. So the pharma industry looks glamorous, and it sometimes is also intimidating. So the decisions, you have to take when you have to leave your hometown or maybe move to a different city, move to a metro city, and think about whether work is more important than your work-life balance is actually very challenging. And in today's day, work-life balance is actually important and matters for a professional growth. So the choices are also very complex that you have to make. It's not just how it was back in the college: read your subject, read pharmacology, read the clinical, do your internships in the hospital, and you come back to the hostel or your home. Now you have to move to a different city, you have to take decisions, you're traveling for work, so it becomes difficult. So many questions arise. It's like, am I ready for the industry? What does the industry expect for me? I'm not very confident to speak openly. Can I still do my job well? Am I ready to change, or is this role right for me? So that's where NPT actually steps in. Our purpose at NPT was very simple. We wanted to bridge a gap between you and the industry. So this would be we thought that this would be a platform where you can explore and interact and test the waters. Basically, speak to industry experts and just test the waters. Is this what you want to do? And you can always connect with them and ask more questions to understand if that is a right career choice for you. You shouldn't take the decision and then regret, or maybe be scared to to make that choice just because you have the wrong information. And now, while we have been doing our best to guide you, to make an informed career choice, there's always room to grow. There's always room to learn and do better. If you've already made a choice in a particular field, you can learn and make a choice to move to a different field as well. So that is why your feedback is very important. Like Dr. Komal and we heard some of the virtual videos before us. The feedback is very important. All of your feedback is very important. There are some Google links that have been shared with you in the group. So it's important you fill the form and please let us know your thoughts and if we can improve in some way. So together we can shape a future where stepping into the industry will feel less intimidating and more inspiring. And I hope the sessions have made you feel that way. So I look forward to all of your comments and feedback. Thank you, all of you. Dr. Jitendra, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you so much, Reshma. I know it is around 6:22, but I am prepared with some of my mind which I want to share with my students. And let me tell you one thing. At the end of the session, I have something very interesting, good news to announce for the students, so that if they listen to this entire talk of mine, they'll definitely get something sweet at the end. As we conclude this certificate course for pharmaceutical physician, I really request each one of you to pause and think for a second so as to what this course has added to my journey. We feel it has given you more than lectures. It has given you a map and a compass to navigate the professional world of pharmaceutical industry. From understanding the pharma industry and outsourcing opportunities to gaining insights into medical affairs, clinical trial management, these sessions have shown us that the world now looks at India not only as a hub for manufacturing, but also as a center for innovation. We explored effective medical writing, the art of communicating science with clarity and impact. Remember, no matter where your career path takes you, be it pharmacovigilance, clinical trial, medical affair, or beyond, your ability to express science simply and effectively will always define your influence. With AI, machine learning, personal branding, and networking, the sessions have tried to equip you not merely for the jobs of today, but for the transformative landscape that will define the future of medicine and healthcare. So this is the difference which this course has made. It transforms hesitation into confidence, confusion into clarity, and prepares a budding pharmacologist to step into the industry with a sense of direction and purpose. Always remember, opportunities do not come. They are created by preparation. And through this course, organizers have tried to prepare you to create those opportunities to stand tall and to make a mark. This course has been more than just a series of sessions. It was a dream project designed to create a bridge from medical college training to the vast horizon of pharmaceutical industry. And even if we have not achieved everything, we have at least lit foundation, lit the lamp, and pointed the way forward for you to walk with courage and confidence. Finally, never forget that success of yours is also a success of our country. In every clinical trial you manage, in every safety signal you detect, and in every scientific paper which you write, you are not just shaping your career, you are honoring the first principle of medicine, always putting the patient first and ensuring that we do no harm. So step forward with integrity, discipline, and pride. Be the torchbearers of modern pharmacology in the pharmaceutical industry. May your work bring glory to science, relief to patient, and pride to our country. Long live NPT. Jai Hind. This is my message to you people. And finally, I have a small announcement to make that we are working on selecting few students for them to be, we are talking to some industries if we can create some positions for medical internship as we have been discussing for quite some time. And even NMC is also thinking in that direction. So we are talking to people, and I think in coming time, we should be able to announce, few medical internships, which will be, offering to our students. The criteria, the selection criteria, everything will come later. But yes, this is one step forward, which we have decided that we will be giving to our students a platform so that they enter into industry. And once they complete their MD, as rightly Dr. Kumawat has said, that those who are doing MD internship, they have been given an invitation. Similarly, has happened with most of us also. And I want to give it to our students also. Thank you so much. And over to Rishma for the final vote of thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jitendra, sir. And I think all the participants will be excited with what you've just announced. Now we have come to the closing. I'm honored to give the vote of thanks. Before that, participants, please note, all the email IDs will be shared with you so you can connect with the respective industry expert directly to understand and get your queries answered. Okay. Thank you for all the moderators and speakers for today, for the wonderful session, for giving us your time. I would specifically like to thank Professor Dr. R.K. Dikshit, President of NPT, for giving us this opportunity, and General Secretary Dr. Ganesh Dakle, National Association of Pharmacology, for again supporting us. But overall, I would like to thank Professor Dr. C.M. Kamal, National Coordinator of National Association of Pharmacology, and for this course, for constantly supporting us at the back end on always being available for all our doubts to make this a good organization of this course. Last but not least, I also like to thank Major Dr. Jitendra Singh, the organizing chairman for this course. Thank you very much, sir, for constantly supporting us and helping us curate this wonderful course. I like to thank all the audience and the participants. Without you, like I've always said, you are our inspiration, and without you, we cannot really do well, and it will help us to further continue doing well, doing you, serving all of you. Thank you very much.
कमाल सर, आपने कुछ बोलना है? लाइक द सेशन इज ऑलमोस्ट ओवर. कुछ दो शब्द आपके भी सर.
In this journey of National Association of Pharmacology and Therapeutics, our both of the persons, Major Dr. Jitendra Singh and Dr. Reshma Quadros, has done a commendable job, and we are thankful to all the participants who are with us and who are supporting National Association of Pharmacology and Therapeutics. Let us work together and to take the pharmacology and therapeutics to the heights where it deserves. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, one and all. This is Dr. Reshma Quadros, the organizing secretary, happy and signing off. Thank you.
People, you can close now. Thank you so much.
Okay.